That's impossible, even for a computer. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. The Empire fleets have gotten a huge boost in the hierarchy of fleets due to the emergence of the TIE Interceptor from Conquest, and as more and more people unlock it, it becomes more and more of a menace on defense. It's a good team on defense because you can control which order your reinforcements initially come in, and the TIE Interceptor hits like a truck. It comes, they have their reinforcements come in right away. It can mark different characters. It does a lot of really cool stuff, and it's kind of left the rest of us reeling. It's the second strongest fleet now, the Empire fleets, and you can kind of use Chimera or you can use Executrix interchangeably. They're both behind Executor, of course, and whatever the next fleet is, who knows. But Negotiator's taken a seat behind it, and honestly, it's been a very, very tricky team to be able to counter because you can use malevolence, but that is not only not completely reliable, but it also costs a lot of banners. So I want to show you guys the Negotiator counter today. I'm actually incidentally still working on my faction essentials for the Empire fleets. We're getting closer, but man, it's a lot of work to learn this fleet. But I can show you guys how to beat this team fairly easily. So I'm going to show you guys some footage. Let's look at the actual fleets in question. I've done this about 7 or 8 times on my main account and on Professor X, which is my 7 million account, which is considerably smaller. You guys will see the lack of relics here. I'll show you guys that account, then we're gonna just go straight to the footage and hopefully get you guys out of here at a reasonable time. Sound good? Whoa, we're in the game. Madness. Whoa, who can send us to the game? That guy must be dumb. Alright guys, so this is a scary comp, by the way. We're not gonna start with a tank in the fleet. So we're actually the only ships we're gonna use. We're not gonna use Rex. We're not gonna use Jedi Consular or Clone Sergeant. We're gonna start with Fives, Snips, and Anakin. Can you believe I have a Relic 5 Snips, but only a Relic 3 Anakin? What's wrong with me? This is my alt account, guys, but it works. I'm going to show you guys footage from both accounts. But the main thing you have to keep in mind is you can be outsped by the Empire fleets, but not by an enormous amount. You're going to have to check speeds beforehand. Fives is one of the fastest ships in the game. And TIE Fighter is probably usually TIE Fighter is going to be faster. You don't have to have Fives go faster than their TIE Fighter, but you need to have a comparable fleet. All I'm trying to say, guys, I don't have any hard and fast rules for you at this juncture, but you need to make sure that you aren't grossly out-relicked. If you're just gear 12 on everyone, you should feel free to try, but you might just lose. If you want to try, one of the things that I would highly recommend is making sure that your pilots have 6E mods on them as much as you can. You can see I don't have as many as would be beneficial. Hey, there's Mara Jade. She has 6E mods. That'll help, right? But that's going to help with your speed, and it's going to help with your damage as well. Getting Anakin at Relic 3, I mean, he's not going to hit that hard, but his ship is going to hit harder because of the 6E. So just check your speeds, make sure you're not just grossly outmatched, and otherwise you're just going to be shooting the guy who's taunting. So if the people go beforehand and make sure that your ship is, so that they make sure that their TIE bomber is taunting before you go, that's fine. You just don't want to get deleted before anything else happens. You want to make sure that your Fives is faster than the Empire fleets. So let's actually just go to the footage, shall we? Let's just do that right now. Okay, so we're gonna start with footage from my main account. Now this Empire fleet, it's Relic 7 Tarkin with full 6E. It's Relic 8 TIE Fighter pilot. and Relic 8 on Darth Vader. Everyone has max, relics and, well, maybe not relics, but Relic 8 or, yeah, Relic 8. And conversely, my Negotiator is 8 as well. Let's see, 5's is Relic 8, Jedi Anakin's 8, and so is Snips at 8. But, oh yeah, keep in mind, too, their second sister, who flies their TIE Interceptor, is also Relic 8. So it's this is a maxed out fleet that we're facing, for the most part, and we're using mostly maxed out characters. Now, I don't think we need the Old Republic ship to go in. I don't know what that even was, guys. I apologize profusely. But we don't need that Old Republic ship. I was just nervous. I think this is the very first time I tried this, actually. I was like, you know what? YOLO. I wanted to try this. So the scary guys, we don't have a tank, so they can target us directly. And so their TIE Fighter pilot goes first. Now, we're going to use 5s here at targeting TIE Bomber, because remember, once they have target lock, then TIE Bomber starts taunting, and we can't lose target lock. Well, Vader's here. There's no way to get rid of it unless we take in the Old Republic ship actually randomly. But that's not really an option. But it's a good news. We don't care about target lock on TIE Bomber yet from 5s. We want to save that big hit for a little bit later. You'll see how cool it is. First, you want to do a basic to get defense down to land on TIE Bomber. Now, if you don't get TIE Bomber or defense down to land on him, don't worry. It's a little bit sad and maybe a little more scary, but that usually you'll land it. And if you don't land it, I've still gotten through it. I think there's been 2 or 3 times that I've tried it, haven't landed, defense down, still everything came out okay. So just do the basic from 5s. Snips is gonna go. You can do the big hit if you want. You can do the basic, whatever you want to do here. Just don't do the dispel thing. I mean, you could, but I mean, probably want some damage on him. Just do the big hit here. They're going to set us on fire, those vile knaves. And then just do a basic with Anakin. Make sure you get a target lock on him. Make sure you do a little bit of extra damage. Because the AoE is nice, but you don't want their TIE Fighter pilot to dodge and therefore give their capital ship a turn before you get a turn. So now, you're going to do the AoE, and you'll note the AoE calls that mass assist, and because we have 3 attackers, we did a lot of damage because the TIE Bomber has defense down. We also got lucky on this particular run. It doesn't always happen this way, but target lock landed on all 3 ships. Now we have 5s here. 5s does an AoE, and it does extra damage for each target lock. It also targets all ships that have target lock. Well, all enemy ships, as I'm going to shoot Snips in the back, for instance. So we could potentially get a 3-fer here on this shot, which we almost did, guys. We took out TIE Fighter and TIE Bomber. Remember, that's a Relic 8 TIE Fighter pilot. So let's take out their Vader. Remember, this is a Relic 8 TIE Interceptor here. So it's a fairly scary situation here. All right, almost took her out. And we could take in our TIE or our Y-wing if we wanted to, but may as well just get some turn meter, take out the TIE Interceptor. So 69 banners, maybe not the very, very best. We dropped a couple, but still pretty acceptable and pretty clean. That was one of the more scary runs. I think we'll show you guys one more run here. Well, I'm going to show you 2 runs actually. So that was against the Executrix, I believe. I think this might be against the Chimera. I don't remember, actually, guys. We'll find out together, shall we? So once again, basic from 5s, get that defense down on TIE Bomber. We also got offense down, which is okay, I guess. This isn't as maxed out of a fleet, though, folks. Just to point it out, it isn't quite as maxed out. But all right, do the AoE. We didn't get the target lock on everyone, but keep in mind too, guys. So did you see how I targeted their TIE Fighter pilot? Even though he didn't have target lock, it's a trick you can use if you didn't realize it. You can target that character and then still do the AoE. The AoE will target the person who's targeted and everyone else who has target lock. So in this case, we only did damage based off of 1 target lock, but we got 2 hits in. So we took out their TIE fighter. And check this out, guys. So they had the TIE Interceptor as a reinforcement, but we killed them so hard that the TIE Interceptor decided not to come in because they thought the AI was like, oh shoot, I need the shuttle to come in and save me, come in and heal me. And that's that's a pretty big win, actually. You can tell that the Interceptor's still here because the first move of the ship was to get a reinforcement in instead of just doing a basic attack or whatever, an AoE. So, I just think it's funny, too. It's like, hey, we need reinforcements. Let's send the literal Empire of the Galaxy here. This is the Executrix, because Tarkin's here. Executrix is a little bit faster, hits a little bit harder. A little more turn meter and stuff. So, okay, this is on my alternate account, guys. This is Professor X. This is the roster that you guys saw. And this is against a different lineup. This one has the Sith Bomber in it. And I think I've done this 4 times on my alt. So, it works. It works pretty well. It hasn't been close any time. So, in this case, guys, we're actually faster than their Vader. Like, we're doing more work. Like we're getting our stuff in before them. It doesn't really change anything, but keep in mind we're not gonna just be like, we're not gonna lose our focus and hit Vader or something, because ultimately before our negotiator gets to go, Vader's gonna go and put target lock on someone, and then they're gonna be taunting. We need the AoE to be on that TIE bomber, and we need that defense down. So don't deviate. Do some damage to TIE Bomber here. Sets us on fire. They get target lock. Can do the AoE now. Remember, we have way lower relics than on my main account, so we don't do nearly as much damage. Now, what we really don't want, guys, is that ability block. We don't want the AoE from Anakin, even though it's kind of cool. We don't want it because, first off, if we hit that B-28 bomber, then I believe we can get thermals on. I forget how that works, but one way or another, we also don't want buff immunity on that TIE bomber because we want to be focusing down the bomber first. The bomber is way more scary than the B-28. Now, unfortunately, only the 2 taunters have target lock, so Vader's going to kind of get a free ride here, but we're still going to do the big AoE here. And we can target whoever. It really doesn't matter. So, took out bomber. And here's Interceptor. This is a fairly weak Interceptor, but my fleet's also fairly weak. So now we'll do the AoE, try to hurt everyone a bit. And now, okay, so no, I could have done the heal from Ahsoka, but that the cleanse, and it would have given her retribution. It would have tried to give retribution to 5s and an Anakin, but we had buff immunity on us, so it wasn't nearly as good of a deal. We get our reinforcements in. Who do we want? Who are you gonna call? We're gonna call Plo to get the heal, to get some turn meter. Vader's a little more scary than this particular TIE Interceptor. And I mean, can we finish him? Well, thank goodness that worked. So, anyways, folks, that's it. That's the counter. I've never failed with it. I haven't seen it fail. Let me know if it fails for you. Don't do it though, guys. Put out a good showing. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. That was kind of a muttered ending, wasn't it? Kind of a muttered one.